Talk about opening higher. But still, even so, there's got to be an opportunity there to short because we have the protection ruin here, meaning that we go lower. I should call that ruin what it's called. I need to learn the names of the ruins. Knowing the names of things is super important. That one's Awaz. Awaz. Awaz right here. Hey B, let me take a look. I wish I could say I'd done the Apple January reading yet, but I have not. It's 2023. What the heck? Yeah, it looks like a pretty hardcore rally at the end of the year. On the December cluster, off of the low, we successfully turned support into new resistance. Or excuse me, we successfully turned resistance into new support off of the low. There's a notable decline off of the high to reach, like a notable decline off of the month's high, and it looks like the month's high is at the end of the year. With a big move out of oversold territory. So we have like a pretty big move into the end, into the end of the year based on the 1 year. When we look at the 1 month, yeah, some volatility with a sharp dip, and it's crossed with a big move to the upside after establishing some support. I'd be careful though. It looks like most probability of a low for Apple's at in the last week of the month. Sirens going off. Well, so we had that high for the 13th right there. 13th, 14th. We might see it again tomorrow, but then there's a prominent low that forms. So this is one of the places where we're most likely to have a highest high, and then we most likely see the same high again on the 20th. I wouldn't hold on to. If I was in position of holding Apple right now, I wouldn't hold on to it through the end of the year. There's a couple of reasons why. We've got a low here in the last week. We've got some indications here combined on the 30th. These two impressions are both pointing towards a lower level, and then January's sneak preview card is a prominent low on a 1-year scale, and a decline that increases with momentum moving forward into the low. This is probably, I mean, well, in the morning was probably a really good opportunity to get out of Apple. But it looks like probably there's another one there on the 20th or the 21st. If there's a high on the 20th, like if we reach the same level on the 20th, I would utilize that as an option to get out. Opportunity to get out, I should say. Yeah, it's like right here on the cusp of the 20th and the 21st, it looks like. When we look at January, on the cluster, I do have the 1 year done. So on the January cluster, we have a fast sudden move higher at the beginning of the year. It's out of a decline. See that? It correlates to the strength card, which is a move from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range, starting out of a decline. So we'll have this fast sudden move higher from the bottom of the range to the top of the range in early January, but it'll start out of a decline out of the bottom of the range. So I'd be prepared for a decline in that last week into January, and I'll get on the January monthly as soon as I can. Hopefully I can get to it. I got a lot of paid ones now. Yeah, so I wouldn't be overly confident about bullish into the end of the year. Oh, cool, awesome, B. Okay, that was you. All right, good to know. Good to know. Much appreciated. I just recorded Meta yesterday, and I put a shout out in there. So, is it basil? I'm going to ask you. Do you say it as basil or basil? Is it the first or the second way that I said it, or is it none of them? Basil or basil? How do I say that? Yeah, so I mean, I would say as far as a real rally, see when we look at the 1 month or the 1 year, where'd it go? Right, so the adjustment card is like sometimes it's a short squeeze. So there's a high correlator here at the end of the month, right? So like either at late December or early January, because you have to give it like a 2 week wiggle room. We have a prominent high on the scale of like a year-to-date chart. It will stand out. See, like this is a prominent high, but this is also a prominent high. This is also a prominent high. So difficult to determine just how high, but I would say it'll be notable because the heck? Where did my 1 month? Oh. Yeah, see, on the first is advised not to chase the rally. Where's the first? Yeah, that would have been some really good advice. Wow. Really good advice. And there was a prominent high there. Another one on the 5th. On the 9th. And then here is a high, an all-time, or a highest high thus far on the 13th, 14th. So we'll probably reach this price level again around the 20th or the 21st, this like 149 to 150, but that's where I would exit, around that price level. And I would open up protection in anticipation of a downturn there. So it's Basil. I forget which one I said first. I'm so sorry. Was it Basil? Like it's pronounced almost like a D, like a Z. Yeah, my sense is that we've already reached the highest high, but that we'll see it again tomorrow. Carolyn. Hey, by the way, hello. My sense is that we saw that price level already today early at the start. We have this completion card, and then look, we have the completion card here at the high, and an all-time high, or not an all-time high, but a highest high location here. Probably early in the day, we'll rally into it again, but it'll be quick. It'll be a brief peak that's easily missed. I'd say probably in the first half hour even. Hard to say, but I would get out around the same price level in the midst of a rally. Looks like we decline off of it relatively. There's like a notable drop here midday, it looks like. I'm probably in the post market. Cool. I'm glad you let me know that was you. I threw you a shout out in the video, by the way. Yeah, see, on the 15th we have the unicursal again. I'd say I was on point about that decline. I just expected it to go down further here. But I was pretty on point about that arrow. So we should see close to the same or close to that price level of four. What did we hit? 410, 410-ish. And that'd also be, remember how I said yesterday, based on the fact that we had this moon card in the theme position, secondary theme position I should say, but still, and we didn't see this big decline yesterday, we only saw an incline. My sense was that we would have that decline overnight or the following day, like a full, and I said possibly a full retracement. It didn't end up being a full retracement. We opened up higher as expected. Well, I should say we opened up higher. I expected to open up higher, but I didn't expect to open up that high, I'll say. That'll be good to notate. I'm going to take a look at the Satiety card in all the past posts. When it falls into the sneak preview position, I'm going to take a look and see if I see a similar move like that for all the cards, or most of the cards. That's how I determine these patterns, guys. From lots and lots and lots of readings, and then going back and looking at congruencies, otherwise known as patterns. But yeah, so we and then you have that moon card there. So you know, was on pretty point about a notable decline off of higher opening, and then that price level, that high there is the price level here of the science card, which should be notated because it'll be a significant price level on a multi-day chart, not just like a daily chart. And I do the element of swords in yellow. See that? So we kind of like established that there as like an important resistance level. It's cool when my E-Trade works properly. Alright, so check this out. So tomorrow we've got Princess of Swords here towards the end of the day. We've got Princess of Swords here. And do you see how this, we marked this off here on the 30th as Princess of Swords, and do you see how back on the 30th, where's the 30th? Back on the 30th, we were at a high, right? Well, close to a high, and it would have been a good mean point because we had this big down, and then we had a higher, first off, we had a higher price the next day, and then again over here, but really the next day and then down. So it would have been a good price to do a straddle or strangle, and there would have been a pretty significant move to the downside, and that's what you want with a straddle or strangle. So tomorrow, my sense is we probably open up higher, decline from the pre-market. Excuse me. We open up lower. We open up lower. I'm looking at the wrong day. Let me make sure. I want to make sure in my notes that that's correct. Yeah, we open up lower at a support level. We attempt to reestablish support. There's either a notable decline overnight or the following day. Looks like probably overnight. Right, and we rallied pretty hard out of that lower open in the pre-market. We pushed the upper end of a range higher in the pre-market. Around the open, there's a resistance level that we hit, in, the truce level, and advised, or well, volume and volatility will kind of like flatten out there for a little bit, or momentarily, I should say, and then we'll revisit a support level that was recently a past opportunity in the first half hour. Looks like it's a cash out place for a long position here. There's that power card too. I might have missed that. I did miss that. Interesting. How did I miss that? So that power card there is important. Probably that power card level will end up being the midpoint. Like these are two price level cards, like back to back probably. Or what a lot of time what you see with the Princess of Swords is a big move in a very short amount of time, giving you an opportunity in the midst of some volatility to open up a position, straddle or strangle, but in two separate legs. Where did my 1 month go? Here we go. See that? There's a low here on the 21st and a high here on the 19th. Although on the dailies it's a low on the 19th, to be clear, guys. When we look at the daily, I get a low. So there's a little off congruency there, if you will. I go by the dailies in a case like that because it's more fine-tuned. See, we've got a low here. It's a nullified low, and it looks like it may end up being the following day. Yeah, like we have 3 lows in a row, I think. 21, 20th, and the 19th. Yep. But in any case, there should be a high here, like on the 14th, or possibly on the 15th. Because we have the universal there. But it's not going to be much higher than we've already seen. I think it's going to be, this is the science level, is going to be the price level. That's probably why we have the science level. Like, this card here could have been the truce card, or it could have been the what else, the peace card, right? And it would have indicated an important price level, but it wasn't those two cards for a reason, because it's more significant than just an important price level on a 1-day chart, or even like on a 1 month. It's a significant price level on multiple charts, right? Which is why it's a science price level, because it'll stand out as a more important price level than maybe these Princess of Sword price levels. So we probably touch it there. We touched it today. We touch it tomorrow around the beginning of the day, most likely. Well, we'll see. There's that truce card, probably early in the day, and then we've got the peace card here the following day. I mean, it just makes sense to me that we're seeing the same high 3 days in a row. Or at least 2 days in a row. I don't think we're going to see new highs. Let me find out. Interesting. We might 15th. It's not a new high. It's oh wait, hold on a second. Okay, so tomorrow, do we have a new high tomorrow? Got another maybe. It's the same today. Tomorrow's got the same today. I keep getting maybes. Yeah, so it's the same high, guys. I don't see a higher high really. It's the same high. Looks like 3 days in a row. We meet at midday on the 15th. Possibly first thing in the morning, but and then again at midday. But we see it midday on the 15th. It looks like we see it at the beginning of the day. We see it at the beginning of the day on. Okay, so there's two things that could happen tomorrow. We could see it at the beginning of the day when we rally into it early in the morning, or we have such a significant gap down that rally doesn't take it to us, and then we would meet it at like the science card. But I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to see it first thing in the morning. And just briefly, hopefully I answered your questions. Does anybody have any other questions? Yeah, so tomorrow looks like that's a pretty big move there in the morning to the upside. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong day, but here, pretty big move here in the morning. That double X indicating something on the 15th too. There's an X there. And then on the 15th, when we look at the 1 month, Yeah. Okay. So highest. It looks like highest high 13th, 14th, and then off of the high on the 15th, we drop. There may be like another, not like a lowest low, but a prominent low that forms there because of how far we drop on the 15th. This Rado in inverted position is doesn't bode fantastically. I should say it's not very auspicious for bulls. So see that here is the adjustment card off of what appears to be a notable low. So there's going to be a really big move to the upside on the 27th, but out of what may be the lowest low. Yeah, see that off of the low is going to be a big move higher. Significant bottom here, and then the Aeon right off of it. The Aeon is also on the 1 month. Right there. And that adjustment card has a congruency. Oops. The adjustment card here has a congruency to the 1 year, I believe. Where the heck is it? Oh. No? Oh my god, that's so annoying. Oh no, I was getting that confused with Apple, so there's no congruency there. That's Apple's chart that I was looking at. Alright, so 3 crisscrosses through the same price level, confirming a bullish trend towards the end of the month. Yeah, this is going to be a really big move, though, I feel like. It might take us back to the high. Matter of fact, yeah, I mean, there's a high correlator here. I don't know why I ignored it. This move probably takes us back to a high for the month. So we were at a high, we go to a low, then back to a high. And that kind of confirms a bullish trend, which ends in early January, to be clear. And we have our first prominent low in early January. And then on the cusp, it looks like as well. Alright guys, I'll give you guys a minute or two to ask any last questions. I'm going to grab a drink and I will be right back. All right, my friends.